Hey everybody, it's Will from Tip. If you run a local home service company, I'm going to explain Google in very simple terms. I'm going to actually show my screen. So I live right outside of Reno. If I was looking for a roofer right now, I'm going to see a lot of stuff before I see the website. Website SEO is still really important. I'm going to show you why it's important, but I'm going to show you there's a lot of things that are going to come before that. So if an agency is telling you, hey, I got you on page 1, you're ranked number 7, you'll never be found. You've got to be ranked number 1 or number 2 for your website, but it's still important to Google Maps. So if I was searching roofer near me or roofer or roofing company, I'm going to see a lot of stuff before the website. I'm going to see 1 and 2. This is local service ads, Google guaranteed, really important. But I want to show you something that a lot of people don't know. You can quickly get a phone call or a message, so that's only 1 click, and boom, you got someone on the phone with you. But if you click to see more roofers, and this person's going to be shopping, okay? I'm going to see the sponsored ads with the little tick right here. What do you not see? You don't see a website. Even if I click on here, I'm not seeing anything about the website. The whole idea for local service ads is that you're going to get a quick call, or you're going to share it with someone via your phone because you're looking for your mom or someone, right? Okay. So these are ranked number 1 and number 2, technically, on the search engine, right? The third one is going to be a CPC ad. So this company, Mountain Vista Roofing, is trying to get leads for roofer near me inside the Reno Sparks area. If I clicked on this and I went to their website, this is why website pages are still really important. This page needs to look great and be easy for me to be converted into a customer, okay? It's got a good design to it. It's very simplistic. I can see what they do. I can call them. The only problem with it is that it's another click to do a quote via a form, okay? Still, websites with SEO and paid advertising should be averaging 25 to 100 leads a month, depending on where you live, how big your market is, and so on. But if I go in here, I'm going to fill this information out. That's great, but how many more clicks that I need to do, right? So that's why phone numbers are so big for you guys as a local business. The forms are great. They tell you who to call, but these have lower conversions than when someone just gives you a call and you use your sales perspective and closing techniques. So let's count 1, 2, 3. Another answer, our ad. That's number 4. Now 5 through 7 is Google Business Maps and these profiles. Okay, they're going to be based on how many reviews you have, the frequency, and your score. There's about 217 other things that come into it, but the biggest thing has to do with your reviews. So you could rank up here with 27 or 43, okay, but you won't stay up here. So you have to consistently get as many, if not more, reviews than your competitors. That means taking small, medium, and big jobs, especially if you only have 43 compared to 108, okay? But remember, this is where about 40 to 45% of the calls, because people know these are ads, right? So they come in and say organically, based on people in my area, who are the 3 best? And Google says, for this key term, it's these people. This means your Google business profile is completely optimized. Let me show you an example of why someone would not be in the top 3. So again, remember, this is 5 through 7. So if I clicked here and I wanted to start shopping, I could find the 2 ads. I'm going to get past that. What do you see that you didn't see in the other one? Website. That's why a website's still really important, okay? Now, if you're a company, if I scroll on down in here and I was to see anybody who didn't have a website, I know right away that company is never going to get up here. Look, everybody has a website that's listed in here, except for Space Roofing, okay? Look, no website. They'll never be in the top 3, ever, ever, ever. Look, they'll never be in the top 3, okay? Google wants to give their users as many options to contact someone as possible, whether it be WhatsApp, visiting the website, calling, emailing, whatever it is, stopping by. The more accessible you are to the local population, the higher you will go in the eyes of Google. Okay? So let's keep going. This was 7. This is the first website page that is actually ranked. Okay? So this is 8. This is 9. This is 10. This is 11. This is 12. This is 13. And the first actual website page that is ranked is actually the 14th option to be clicked. So if I open to this website page better be amazing, okay? So it looks pretty good. I gotta say, tip my hat to Scott's Roofing. a little bit of a spacing issue right in here, but I would say this is a legitimate company. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to click the button. Where's the button? Here's the button. This button should be at the top. Okay, there it is. So I can click here, and I'm going to probably at least get connected with somebody. This is a good website page. Let me show you an example of a website landing page that is much, much worse and was a bad investment. So when we went back to Google Maps and we had the top 3, the number 2 was actually Mills Roofing, and it's largely due to their online reviews and their profile. It's not from their website, because look, let's compare these two. If I look at this, this is a lot going on in the page, especially if I'm in the older aged population. This is just overkill here. What I want to know is, what do you do and how do I call you? Did anybody give you any reviews? So this color is off, it pops, and everything is crammed. It is very, very hard to understand. I can see, what is this? Looking for employment? So, I mean, I don't know where to start with this. This should be its own ad. You want to recruit and you want to hire people, hire an agency to recruit people or put out an ad. So Mills Roofing really needs to do a lot, because look, what would you rather go to? A page like this or a page like this? It's night and day, and that's why website's still very, very important. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention is what happens if someone includes the city listed in the service. So I'm going to show you an example and one of our clients. So if someone said Livermore gutters, right? We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's our client. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's the client again. They're ranked number 1 on Google for that particular page. So when I go to their website, I'm going to see that it has nice spacing. It's easy to get a quote. But here's the next thing I want to put as a caveat. We know that if there's a city listed in the search, the website's super important, so is Google Maps and everything. But I want you to avoid agencies. They're going to say, hey, I need to create a city page for you. Okay, you should do that. You should have like number 1 Alamo gutter services. Okay, this ranks number 1 in Google. So is their Google business profile. But what you don't want to do is follow the scam that you need to have an Alamo gutter, an Alamo seamless gutter, an Alamo gutter screen page. That's where they just charge you $100 to $500 a page, and your website balloons up to like $10,000 to $20,000. Okay, when you're going to do a landing page for a city like this, it needs to be Alamo gutter services or Alamo plumbing or whatever. You have your reviews in here. It looks like the home page, and here's the great thing. Each one of these has, okay, we do gutters and downspouts, we do seamless gutters, gutter guards. Here's our process, here's a form, but there's always a call button. The key thing I'm trying to show you here is you will rank faster if you have all these services, and I'll show you why. Because if I'm down here in the service and I go into any of these things, I can go ahead and, for example, I want to learn about seamless gutters. I go to the major service page. I don't need 37 seamless gutter pages, okay? I need a city landing page. So I'm hoping that everything I showed you is very, very important and helpful to your company. If your agency doesn't look at these things, they haven't done these things for you, you definitely need to find someone new. Maybe that's us, maybe it's not, I don't know. But again, in summary, when you're looking at local search engines, just realize that you're going to have the ads up in front, you're going to have the maps that are down here, you're going to have a bunch of questions and answers, you're probably going to be battling with Yelp, and even if you were able to get something like what we have in here, you need to be playing in every one of these fields, okay? Now, they don't advertise in Livermore because they're the number 1 Livermore company. They're advertising in cities outside their range. Otherwise, I'd be putting an ad right in here. Okay, so the key thing is, for search engines, you need to do every aspect. Google guaranteed the paid ads, the maps, and the websites in here. I'm hoping you found this helpful. And again, if you need any help, reach out to us. Thanks.